Hi again then guys, and welcome to the first episode of Pumping Iron on Forza Horizon 3, and this particular review series is for the muscle cars of Forza, both old and new, and there are a fair mix of both modern and classic muscle cars to work with. But in this particular episode we're focusing on a muscle car which is typically associated more with the low rider lifestyle rather than the high performance muscle car lifestyle. Not that it's a slow vehicle, certainly not, but it's not generally as strongly associated with performance as something like a Chevelle or a Charger or a Camaro, those kind of machines. And the vehicle is the 1964 Chevy Impala. This is one of my personal favourite muscle cars. I've always preferred the lowrider style muscle cars, generally speaking. I love those long, low, wide, classy looking muscle cars, and even some which aren't necessarily, strictly speaking, muscle cars, but tend to be included in that category on most games, stuff like the Lincoln Continental or the Cadillac Buretts. This is kind of a middle ground between the two. It has that bigger, classier style of the big Lincolns and Caddies and Chryslers, but it has the power and the performance which you'd typically expect from something more like a Camaro, a Chevelle, a Monte Carlo, that kind of thing. Now, as far as tuning potential and existing performance, it's good on both fronts. It's not necessarily the best of cornering machines, and overall for its handling ability, I'm going to give this particular Impala a 3 out of 5. But when it comes to straight line performance, both in terms of acceleration and top end speed, it really is an outstanding muscle car. In particular for top end speed, the top speed on this thing is up there with some full-on supercars on the game, and although that can be said about some other muscle cars as well, there are relatively few which are as good for top end performance as this one is. As far as acceleration, the length of the car sometimes hinders it, especially if you're accelerating out of a corner where it tends to like to wag its tail and drift a bit more than you might sometimes like. But if you're looking for style points and skill points, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, as far as acceleration, I mentioned that it's certainly good. Even in stock form, it's one of the quickest stock muscle cars you can get, and so for acceleration I am going to give it a 4 out of 5. It certainly isn't bad, don't get me wrong, it's just not the absolute best of muscle cars. As far as top end performance though, it's fantastic, and it's an easy 5 out of 5, because even in stock form, and typically stock muscle cars are not known for having good top speed. They tend to top out at around 130, 140 at best. This one can do close to 160, even without any tuning. That's pretty good, especially for a C-Class vehicle. So overall, easily that's a 5 out of 5. As far as value, well, again, I'm going to give it a strong 5. And the main reason why is because of that 46,000 credit price. It's a brilliant all-rounder for the money, and leading on from that 5 out of 5 for value, I'm also going to give it a 5 out of 5 for usability, because you can use it in so many different classes for so many different things. And that means that overall I'm giving the 64 Chevy Impala an overall score of 88. But that's it overall for this pick. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.